Okay, we're back at the track with Uncle Paul's Crush, Terrace Test and Tune, airport drag strip. We're setting up. We got here yesterday, made one test, made a couple adjustments on the nitrous on the wiring, so we're ready to test a little bit further, I suppose. The sun is out, track is tightening up. Always tends to be a bit of a tricky track being an airport, but it's fun and it's challenging, and it's a good chance to learn. So we're gonna get the car warmed up and get ready to go up. How much did it make?
A pound.
A pound?
I just went up, go a little more.
Needs more. Yeah, that's better.
He's got a good video of the front. As soon as the tire got to that white line, your transfer on the top side.
Okay, so didn't really go to the plan. We waited a little bit longer than we had hoped to run. It's now noon, and I think the sun heated up the track a little bit, so the car left, came up, and then spun the tires very quickly. So we will try again because we can't control the track, but we can control the car. It seemed to be planted for the first turn or so. It started to come up, and as soon as it topped out the front end shock, it unloaded the back and spun. So we're going to see if I can get the front to extend a little bit longer, a little bit further, and keep the back down, and hopefully the tire will stay stuck to the track. We can try it again. I'll also probably take a little bit of the nitrous hit out of it, use the progressive to ramp it in a little bit more slowly over a second and a half. So we'll cool the car down and check it over and then try again. Okay, so we made some adjustments since the last run. The plan is just to get the car rolling out of the hole better, get the weight back, and then translate the power in a little bit later on the run. So these type of situations, you kind of have to just come up with a strategy to get it to go down the track and get it going down the track, and then you can kind of go from there, because if it only moves 2 inches and spins, it's, you know, not really hard to make any other progress. So we will start with that. Let's cool down, made the changes, and pull back up now. We'll try again. Let's see. car seemed to transfer a little bit better, moved out a little bit further, but then still spun the tire pretty much in the same way. So instead of moving like 1 foot and then spinning, it moved about 6 or 8 feet and then spun pretty much in the same way, just overpowered the track and drove over the tire. So it reacted the way we kind of thought it would with the change. So it validated the suspicion, but it still wasn't enough to actually get the car to go down the track. So now we have to take some different approach. Have as much travel as we can achieve in the front of the car, and we've slowed it down as much as we can getting to that limit. Now we have to look to the rear of the car. So I think we're going to try to soften the rear so that the rear can squat more as the front's coming up. Maybe the combination of these, we can keep the tire planted, because the tire does plant and move, and eventually it kind of like unloads and pops up. So this is my way I'm thinking in my head of how we're going to approach the next run. We do know that this surface, and last year we were hitting with the full shot 100% right off the line, and it takes the hit. So we feel confident in the power level. We don't necessarily feel confident that the chassis is doing what it needs to get rolling just the way the track is. And we're not hitting with a big shot. It's maybe 150 horsepower worth of nitrous. So that's the assessment. The car feels like quite comfortable to drive. Honestly, it's quite a lot different than the gray car, the stick shift car with turbos. Mainly because, okay, the biggest difference probably is the chassis. This is like 4-link, and my car is like leaf springs, like an old pickup truck. So the leaf spring car moves around a lot, and it's not as composed. This car is very composed going down the track. Even when it spins, the chassis stays very composed, very square, it drives straight, and it's very predictable in that sense. So honestly, it's an easier car to drive probably, but it is a more difficult car to see out of. It's really hard because you're slung so far back and low. It's hard to see your corners. So it's harder to drive in that regard, but it's really easy. It's just one gear. And what happened there, it spun up to the shift point and shifted itself. So really I just drove down in high gear after that. So it spun, flashed up to 8,000, shifted, and then drove down. So time for the next one is try to be better than that and try to actually go down the track under power. I would love to be able to drive in first gear and not spin at this point. Stark is sticking the tire like amazing. He's like hooking and booking, as they say. I'm not. I'm cooking mainly. Yeah.
Immediately struck the tire off.
I'm beginning to think maybe the slicks are just not, I don't know, not there anymore, because that was less power, less air pressure in the tire, and
I
it
walked
tried
your
even
tire
less.
line right after too,
Yeah?
and it's sticky.
Yeah, it just I don't know how much. I mean, basically just a motor pass at that point. That was 30% of a 150 shot, very minimal. Well, the wager didn't pay off on the tune, so I don't know. That's
She got a good video of the unload. It just like,
oh yeah.
from what I could tell, it just went. I had the gimbal there. So
Yeah, it didn't feel like it tried as long as the last one.
no,
Yeah.
it was.
It looks good sitting out here though.
Oh yeah.
Like it looks like really nice out in the sun here. Check it out. Look at that color, man. The color is awesome. Whew. Yeah, maybe like a 4-link change, you know? We got that option now,
I
right?
guess so. You do have
Maybe
that.
change the 4-link setting. 4-link is the the rear suspension has 4 links going forward from the axle housing up to the chassis. You can actually see them, which is cool. Check out, look right in front of the wheel. If you look from here, if you look down, you can gimbal the thing down. There's attachment points at the bottom, 1 bolt, and at the top, 1 bolt. And those are 2 of the links and 2 on each side. Anyway, we can change the angle of those and it changes the leverage on the chassis. Maybe we can try to force the tire into the ground more because it didn't try to. I mean, it felt like it made even more jam too, despite leaving on.
That's what I was saying. It kind of to me it sounded
fucking
spicy.
Sounds hopped up, man. It's making sick power, but we just can't keep it applied. Yeah. So, all right. Well, go and regroup a little more.
Do some thinking, watch them
Yeah.
film.
Yeah. It's kind of still fun, but it's more fun when it goes like really fast. In this case, it just made a lot of noise and used fuel and nitrous a little bit, you know.
Scrub the tires in though.
These tires, yeah, that's the only thing. These tires, I used them once in the gray car and once in this car, so they probably have close to 15 runs now. I think start of this year they probably had 12 runs, and on a car like this, when you start to get over 10 runs, they kind of maybe start to go away a little bit more, whether it's the sidewall or the actual compound. So it might be time for a fresh tire. It might be as simple as that. Don't know till you try, but we don't have tires here this weekend. So one thing we can try is probably the 4-link adjustment. See if we, with this tire, just push it harder into the ground, you know, harder for longer. So, and some pimp juice maybe. drive the car, you know, like drive down the track. That was fun. Let's see.
Hold up, yeah.
It was probably about 400 feet. It started spinning them.
Yeah.
And by then I'm like, it wasn't like it was spinning them and still hauling. It's you could feel the acceleration drop off, and that should show the draggy. Yeah, which would be cool.
Is that Brandon Baldassi from the hit YouTube series, Baldassi Video?
Day 3, we just did a 4-link change this morning. We made it to about 400 foot down the track before it started to drive and spin the tire. So we made a angle change in the 4-link bars to change the leverage in the rear suspension. And we're gonna leave everything else the same and try this. So it is 10:30. And I think the track's probably in the best shape right now. So let's go do it. Let's go. Bad, right? That was better.
A to B.
Definitely A to B. Now it didn't feel extremely strong. It felt like maybe we were down on the nitrous bottle there. So
I was saying that
yeah,
and that's why I said the shear out came off kind of like.
it ramped still on the progressive, you know, but it didn't come in as strong on the top end as it should have with that kit. So it might have just been low on bottle pressure, but it drove quite comfortably and smooth down. Yeah. And that was good. It went, well, you probably saw the slip. Yeah. So on the draggy at least, because now I can spoil it. It went. It said 133, 560, 126. Yeah, 130, 557 at 127.8, and coasted to 913 at 117. So pretty good. Good progress. It definitely picked up on the 60 foot. So no other change, right? And incremental improvement. The biggest improvement is that it drove under power through the 8th. One interesting thing though is when just after I lifted on D-cell, there was like a vibration at one point in the driveline. Okay. Engine was already off, so I basically clicked to neutral, shut it off, and there was like a buzz, drive shaft something. Okay. I don't know. It seemed like high frequency, so I don't think it would be the wheel anywhere. So it had to be something before the diff. So. Let's see, but overall, this is good. Maybe fresh plugs and more on the progress. So we changed the 4-link, the geometry of the rear suspension this morning, and it seemed to pay off. The car ran well. So what we've done is we've got a fresh nitrous bottle, fresh spark plugs, and we've shortened up the ramp on the nitrous controller. So instead of coming all in by like 3.5, 4 seconds, it's going to come in by 2.5 seconds into the run. Otherwise, no other changes. And hope for a good run. Here we go. Like it felt like it made 150 more horsepower in that run, which is a fresh bottle, you know.
Right.
Bottle plugs, and then it picked up like huge. Like I put 5% on the controller, but I didn't even get to the ramp yet.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Like the ramp was like, I took it from like 3.7 seconds to like 2.7 or something, and it spun probably like 1.5, you know?
Well, it spun at the transition, but your tire was like perfectly round.
Okay.
And like almost starting to slip
The whole 16,
concrete
okay.
part, too. You'll see it in the video.
So-
But I was like 12.7 for air pressure there.
Oh, wow.
My first pass I was 13,
Yeah, good.
and I had wrinkle.
Okay.
Because you'll hit that spot too where too much pressure and then
Yeah, it bounces. I mean, it, like going over the transition, it completely, like it flares the engine like this. Like that's what it was doing. There's no way it's gonna float. Well, weekend was a lot of fun. Fun weekend. This one's driving. Yours drove too. It leaks a bit of water from the cylinder heads, but it still drives, and the parts are there, you know. The next one might be Gimli, Manitoba. For cash days in Gimli. We need to get more nitrous, and we need to, yeah, get ready for the next one. Hopefully a tighter surface so we can put the power down, because there's a certain unique challenge with trying to go slow with a fast car, and that's kind of what we were having to do, and not what you want to. You don't build them to go super fast and then try to slow them all the way down. So we learned a bunch of things that didn't work. We made a change to the geometry and the suspension, which it seemed to respond to, so that was good. It's good to see a response to some input that it didn't always manifest in like performance yet at the track, but it will, I think, right? It's kind of like in the knowledge bank, and we can use that in the future a bit more. So we're gonna fire it up and load it up now. Thanks so much for tuning in, and for everyone that's leaving comments and interacting. I really appreciate to hear from everybody, and I know I enjoy doing this stuff. Feel super grateful to be able to do these things, race and build cool cars, have fun doing it with friends. So thank you for checking it out. Really happy to be able to share it with you and make some of these videos and have some fun. We have a full feature on Crush coming next, so watch back for that. It's summertime, streetcar season, and we're just getting started. Talk to you soon.